I'm gonna make a short follow-up video, and it's just on some of my philosophies. And I have a lot of content that are going much deeper into these philosophies and why I believe deeply in them and how they relate to investment performance. And it comes down to understanding deeply all these areas, but where do you want to hone in the most energy? And compared to the normal person, of course I'm going to know, I've been studying these for so long, and it's a kind of a combination of textbook studying, things I learned through going through the CFA, things I've just done through experience. Then also a lot of it comes down to these are the most successful investors that I'm reading about and understanding, and what they're doing, I'm trying to use the same philosophies. So here's a couple of the, I think, key areas. If I'm looking at allocation and what can I do to drive the most return allocation, I'm putting a lot of my time, effort, energy into understanding business cycles and understanding intrinsic value. You need to set rules, of course. It's not market timing, it's just understanding. And the reason on the intrinsic value note is that this kind of probably ties back to, more than anything, the readings of the most successful investors, like real life application. And that the theory of stocks will return back to their intrinsic value, super powerful. Now, we don't know the future, but if there's a rhythm behind it and we feel confident, there probably is going to continue to be business cycles. Stocks will be overvalued, undervalued. That's all it means, is returning back to its intrinsic value. So I want to understand these as deeply as I possibly can. The second area that I want to put in a huge amount of time and effort is selection, understanding the best stocks to own and how they should tie into the portfolio. I've had a lot of experience and different systems in place that have helped me to try working with finding those best stocks. And someone that I've been working with more closely over the last few years is a CFA. He runs a hedge fund. His name is Ben. He explains things to me that I hadn't thought of before on why selection is so important. And having those individual conversations with understanding, all right, we're simply trying to find the best companies and own them in the right manner. And that has been one of the bigger needle movers. So it just is one of those differentiators that I personally feel when we're working with intrinsic value, but also let's own the best companies in the world. That's the goal. Maybe easier said than done, but it's certainly an area that you can put so much effort into, that effort can be rewarded. Number three, the options markets. I've been studying the options markets for a very long time. I understand that this is how they can tie in to add additional return. These are how they can be used to reduce risk. These are how they can be used to add on risk, ideally eventual return. I just feel like that's another area that if you understand and use the options markets appropriately, then you can very much improve your investment performance. So those three, super important. That's probably where the most time and energy that I have is going into. Now, other things, tax efficiencies. There's no one that's going to say tax efficiencies is not a vital role in investment performance. The key is just always have it on your mind. Know that anything that you do, how's it going to affect you tax-wise? Then also understand the rules. Have tax professionals that you're working with that know the rules and implement the rules into the investment strategy, but also, like I said before, the financial plan. Private investment, it's just not as used as much because you do need to qualify to be able to have private investment, but there are inefficiencies with the private investment markets that give you excess return. You get liquidity premium. I'm very fascinated with private investment, so I do like researching it. Just not quite as much time spent in that as the other three. And then the other ones, they're important as well, but a lot of those other ones can be automated and there isn't significant competitive advantage that I feel that you can get. So that's a quick breakdown of some of the philosophy that I have, areas that I want to put energy into to do everything I can on the investment performance side.